Welcome to Megapath Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk about The Walking Dead. Here's Negan, Part 11. First thing first, though, I don't know how many parts they're going to have of Here's Negan. It seems like it's just all over the damn place. We have the first announcement from Skybound themselves saying it's only going to be 12 parts. Then we have another website that's not connected to Skybound or The Walking Dead, just an entertainment news website saying it's going to be 16 parts. And then in the letters hack, I think on two different occasions, they said two different things. They said it was going to end in October, which if you do the math, October of this year, that would equal like 18 parts. And then another time they said it was going to be 16 parts. So it's all over the damn place, and we don't know if there's going to be a part 2. We don't know if it's going to be 16 parts. And then they're also releasing a very limited 500 copies of Here's Negan in the special 25th anniversary box. The confusion is all over the damn place because if they release that, it's not going to be a complete release, but it's advertised as the one and only time they're printing Here's Negan. But if they only print half of the story, or more than half, if you get 12 parts and you're missing 4 parts, what good is that? What good is that at all? That doesn't make any damn sense. So when it comes to Here's Negan and how many parts it's going to be, I have no damn idea, and everything out there is contradicting everything else, and none of it makes sense. It's just one big mass ball of confusion. I don't know. If you guys hear anything new, I ask Skybound on social media. If I hear anything, I will update it definitely down below. Now let's move on to the story, because we finally hit a point where I'm ready to admit I'm liking the story, but I'm also not liking the story. I honestly feel like they are trying to give us a 30-page story, but only force it into 15 pages because it's so clunky the way it bounces around. For example, we start off where we left off from part 10. We got Negan and Dwight. They're eating a bunny. They do a funny callback where Dwight says, no, they're not arrows, they're called bolts. That's a callback to All Out War. Then Dwight takes them to their camp, and the whole idea, the whole theme of this part and a lot of Here's Negan is Negan doesn't want to learn their names. He started to in the beginning when the outbreak happened. He learned people's names, but they died so quick. He gets to Negan's camp, and he doesn't want to learn any of their names until they stay alive long enough to earn Negan's respect to learn their names. So what ends up happening is we go from this to skipping a few weeks. It's not really understood clearly panel to panel, but I assume it's been a few days or a few weeks. He talks to Sherry briefly. We see Dwight and Sherry cuddling by a campfire, and then Negan and Dwight walking in the woods. It looks like it's a snowy woods, and they're just having a really pointless conversation. It doesn't add anything to the story. It doesn't give us any information. It's just kind of some smart-ass thing that Negan is trying to say. And then we get, out of nowhere, we get this panel, and this is what I mean about a 30-page story being trimmed down and stuffed into only 15 pages, because out of nowhere we get Negan and Sherry in a bathroom of a hotel. Is she being a hoe in the hotel? I don't know. It implies it, but the dialogue doesn't say anything at all that's definite. We have Sherry say that she only likes hotels for what you do in a hotel. To me, that sounds like they're banging, you know what I mean? But we couldn't, like, why? How did they get hooked up? What started it? This doesn't give us any new information, and that's why I say I like the story, I like the direction, but it's missing stuff from the story that I think it's needed to make the story feel like fleshed out and to make it a better read, so it's not so damn clunky. And then we skip over to it looks like a mall, and Negan not only knows their name, and this is what I'm saying about the theme that holds it all together, he knows their name, but he's also taken charge, and he's given them orders, so that way they make it out of there and they can survive. And then in the end, he says, we can do this, no one's gonna die today, fight. So this is a big deal. He finally meets people, he wants to fight, and he doesn't want any of them to die. A few, parts ago, a few chapters ago, he was just telling people to die. He was like, you're no good, you got so-and-so killed in your family, you got bit yourself, just go and do what you do best and die, you bitch. That's how he used to talk. Now he's ready to group people together, and I think we only really need, telling by how clunky the story is going, we only really need one more part for him to find the sanctuary, pull people in, say, you know what, I'm doing good at this leader job. I'm the sole leader, and this is how it's going to be. From the story, originally I thought we were going to get an explanation to a complete explanation to how he became, Negan, and how they became the saviors, how he got with Sherry, about Dwight, maybe even see the burn in a backstory, but tell the story fully. Having Negan and Sherry meet, and then all of a sudden they're in a hotel and he's shaven, and it's implied that they just got done knocking boots. That doesn't add anything. It doesn't tell us anything. It doesn't flesh anything out. And I feel like that is a terrible idea for the story. Again, I like the story. I feel like they're only giving us 50% of it, though. That's my big problem. Anyway, you let me know what you think about Here's Negan. Obviously, once I get the complete story, maybe then it will fill out a little bit. Like, if dialogue explains, if Negan's like, listen, Dwight, me and Sherry were whoop-de-whoop, one thing led to another, and it just happened, and it's going to keep happening. If he explains it in dialogue, or maybe we see it, or it's explained some other way, that might make up for how clunky some of it feels. That's fine. The only problem is there's so many different clunky moments that it truly feels like this is a story that should have been 50 pages, but it's only being trimmed down to 25 out of convenience or whatever reason there is, Thoughts and opinions down in that comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn. Woo!
Subscribe now.